5 years ago on Friday, one single event changed the landscape of Ferguson, social media, and racial equality. Tonight, a look back at the day-by-day events that unfolded after Michael Brown was shot and killed. No one could have predicted how the deadly shooting of Michael Brown would rip open deep racial wounds and lead to violence.
Now, the shooting happened just after 12 o'clock here on Canfield Drive.
It all started when white Ferguson police officer Darren Wilson confronted African-American teenager Michael Brown. Brown was walking near Canfield Apartments. There was a struggle and then gunfire. Michael Brown, who was unarmed, was dead, killed by a police officer. Angry crowds gathered as Brown's body lay in the street for more than 4 hours.
He put his hands in the earth.
Ferguson police claim shots fired nearby and the crowd prevented them from moving Brown's body.
They took this boy for no reason, and there should be justice about this.
St. Louis County Police stepped in. The next day, Chief John Belmar told the public Officer Darren Wilson shot Michael Brown in self-defense.
Within the police car, there was a struggle over the officer's weapon.
Late Sunday evening, massive looting hit Ferguson. Cell phone videos showed the lawless chaos along West Florissant. Windows smashed at Quick Trip, people grabbing what they could, then later setting it on fire. Looters broke into about 20 businesses that night. This was Zizer Tire on Delwood. One person enters, then hordes of people take what they want. The same thing happening at Hibbett Sporting Goods store. Police responded with riot gear and tanks, a move police called necessary, but would be criticized nationally. The next day, Monday, August 11th, Michael Brown's family held a press conference.
We need to know everything.
Tuesday, August 12th, more looting. Reverend Al Sharpton arrives in St. Louis. During our 9 p.m. newscast, we watched live as police used tear gas on protesters. The unrest following Brown's shooting was the first time we saw the impact of social media. Cell phone video of the protests streamed live across the nation. Police and Ferguson officials received death threats.
They're asking for violence against me, my family.
The next night, more tear gas, more arrest. Ferguson cancels the start of school. The Justice Department opens a federal civil rights investigation. By Thursday, Governor Nixon put the Highway Patrol in charge. Captain Ron Johnson now marched with protesters. On Friday, police released surveillance video from inside the Ferguson market showing the moments before Officer Wilson shot Brown. It shows what police say is Brown pushing a clerk and stealing cigarillos.
To protect the people and property of Ferguson today,
Governor Jay Nixon issues a state of emergency and imposes a curfew. On August 25th, hundreds gathered for Michael Brown's funeral.
If I don't, he will kill me if he gets to me.
On September 16th, Officer Darren Wilson testifies before a grand jury, deciding whether he should face criminal charges.
Every video clip, photographs, physical evidence, all of that will be presented to the grand jury.
As the community waited for the grand jury's decision, Brown's family asked for calm. On November 24th, a St. Louis County grand jury decided not to indict Officer Wilson for shooting and killing Brown.
They determined that no probable cause exists to file any charge against Officer Wilson.
Protesters, furious with the decision, gathered outside of the Ferguson Police Department. Outrage from the shooting reached a new level. And this is a live picture from the ground of that police car that is on fire. As police cars were vandalized and set on fire, more stores were looted. The scene from Sky Fox showed a landscape engulfed in flames.
These yellow things are the fire hoses, and this is one of the areas where shots were fired and firemen evacuated.
Firefighters were powerless and could do nothing. Protests would stretch into Clayton and the city of St. Louis, but in the days and weeks to come, many would march in peaceful protest. In March, the Justice Department decided not to charge Officer Wilson with Brown's death, but the investigation did find the Ferguson Police Department had a pattern of racial bias and unreasonable force against African-American suspects. The report led to municipal court reform that unfairly preyed on poor African Americans, and it changed the way police departments operate and train officers. Ferguson would go on to elect 2 black city council members, one, Wesley Bell, would then go on to become the St. Louis County prosecutor.